All right, so here we have the extended use scenarios for the movie rental system. I'm already seeing a small mistake that was in there. Do not keep your parentheses when we're calling on methods. So yeah, make sure you delete those. Okay, so what I want you to do though is to spend some time looking at these interactions by yourself. You're going to look at these. So new user signs up for customer account. This is going to be very similar to the interactions that we saw in the Wired Online Coffee Shop. And you should see a lot of those same interactions. So this signing up for an account one we've seen before, but there might be some extra steps in there that are different. So you might want to just take a look and make sure that you are, getting all of the information you can. Also, you're going to be using, oh, not that one. You're going to be using the movie rentals class diagram that I gave you, right? So when I click on this class diagram, oops, I already have it open right here. When I click on this class diagram, you can see that I have different names than what your classes might be. So you need to make sure that you are using these correct usernames. And so you'll be able to pull right from these, right? Because these usernames should match. And if you see a function that is not in that class diagram, you need to make sure that you add that function, right? So, so this class diagram that I gave you is closer to those use scenarios, but there might be a couple of those functions missing. So just make sure as you're going through yours that you're not using a function that's not actually in there, right? So you'd want to add that in. Anyways, where's my finished? So anyways, go through here. So we have existing customer edits their payment card information. And I did notice something here. Here we have customer clicks. So here we have customer clicks save button. And this is different than the one that I had in my Wired Online Coffee Shop, right? And I actually like this way better. I don't know why I didn't do it this way. So the interface calls the person edit account method. And that's basically they're making changes to that account. And then the person returns updated to interface. So that updated status was returned to the interface so that that interface can know to display that. So that interaction makes sense to me, that when you are editing information or you're changing information on a single instance of an object, that there's a return value there. So I like that. I mentioned also there being a user login fails here. So if you have a failing logging in situation in yours, you can emulate that by looking at what's going on here. Again, don't just copy and paste stuff. Make sure that the interactions make sense, and that the variables the methods and class names match. We'll also have the finished extended use scenarios for the available movie list section. So here we have internet user views movie details. This is a good one for searching for a movie. So this one's got a bunch of different functions and ways that if your use scenario searches for a movie, you're going to want to come here and look and see how this is done in our use scenario already, so that you can have consistent use scenarios with what's already been created, right? Then we have customer filters for a sci-fi movie. So here's a filtering one. I don't have a sorting one, kind of like what we talked about earlier in the semester, but it would be very similar. The filter would also be very similar. I'm so sorry. A sort would be similar to a filter, I would imagine, or it could even be something that the interface does, right? So if the interface is going to sort something, I don't know that there would need to be, a special filter type function that could be done just by the interface organizing it. So the interface would know how to do something like that. So just a small note on that. Here we are again with the editing. Here we are, let's see. So editing rental period. So that would be a good one to look at. An employee login fails. Again, another login. Here we have adding a movie. So whenever we see that adds the movie, or there's some sort of adding functionality, we know there's going to be a call to the constructor. And as you can see, we have movie list calls movie constructor right here. So it's just a good one to take a look at and make sure you're familiar with. One more thing here, the employee removes a movie. So I don't know if any of you have any removing of something from a list. This is a good example of removing an item from a list. So just come in here, make sure you understand these interactions. And again, if you have questions about these, please feel free to reach out to me over Discord and email, and I would be happy to talk with you about them. I'm sure other people have the same questions.